Hello again, welcome. Welcome to class number 1023. Yes, 1023. Okay, I'm going to continue where I left off yesterday. And this is an interesting paragraph. The first paragraph at the top of page 67. I'm going to read the paragraph once, normal speed, and then I'm going to explain the Great Plains in the United States. When the white man first reached the American Great Plains in the early 1800s, there were over 50 million buffalo. By the end of the century, 90 years later, there were fewer than 500. Okay, now, oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam. Lo voy a hacer al revés for you. Let's see. Okay. This is the Pacific Ocean, and this is the Atlantic Ocean, and this is the United States in the middle. All right. These are the Appalachian Mountains. This is the east of the United States. From your perspective, this is the, see? Yeah, okay, see. See, no. This is north, this is south. Okay. East, west. I think I'm confusing myself. These are the Appalachian Mountains. This is the north. Okay. And this is the Atlantic coast. Spain is here. All right. If you cross the Appalachians, you're in Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, perhaps. And then this is the prairie, la casa de la pradera, the prairie, little house on the prairie. This is the prairie land, good land for agriculture. Then you cross the Mississippi River. This is the Mississippi River. And then you have Iowa and Missouri, Minnesota, and Arkansas, here. And Louisiana, aquí abajo en el Golfo de México. Louisiana, New Orleans, here. And that's also prairie. So this is prairie and this is prairie. Here is the Great Plains. Plain is llanura, llano, meseta. The rain in Spain is mainly in the plain. No es verdad, la lluvia en España está en el norte o en Grazalema en el sur, pero no en la meseta. The rain, and this is the Great Plains. And these are the Rocky Mountains, California, Oregon, Washington, and the Pacific Ocean. Okay, now, the buffalo, los búfalos, los bisontes, siempre en singular. One buffalo, bueno, siempre sin ese. One buffalo, two buffalo, three buffalo. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. ¿Te suena la canción? Dame un hogar donde vagan o deambulan los búfalos. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, como el roaming, en esto. And the deer and the antelope play, y donde juegan los ciervos y los antílopes. Where seldom is heard, donde raramente se oye, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, una palabra desalentadora, donde raramente se oye una palabra where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day, o sea, cielo azul, no están nublados todo el día. Oh, home on the range where the deer and the antelope play. Okay, the Great Plains. Ahora, aquí yo soy el Polo Norte. All right, I'm the North Pole. Aquí está Mexico. This is the Mississippi River. Between the North Pole and Mexico, there's nothing. No mountains. So the cold front, las olas de frío polares, come down. And they come in, it's un embudo. And so here, living in this area, I lived in this area for 21 years, in Texas and in Oklahoma. And the temperature can change in 1 hour. In 1 hour, for example, it's 12 o'clock midnight, 12 o'clock at night, and you open the window because it's nice, 21 degrees, 22 degrees centigrade, and you go to bed, and you wake up at 1 hour later at 1 o'clock. My God! And you close the window because the temperature has fallen from 22 degrees to 2 degrees in 1 hour. That's called a norther, un norteño. Ahí llega un norteño. A norther. Sin la N al final, norther. And that's only used in the United States. If you say norther in England, they don't understand you because of this phenomenon. It's quite interesting. Okay, the mountains. Now, getting back to our story. Getting back to our story. When the white man first reached the American Great Plains, las grandes llanuras esas, antes de las rocosas, el este de Wyoming y Colorado y Montana y Alberta in Canada. It's beautiful, very, very interesting. Beautiful, beautiful area. Majestuoso, okay? When the white man, el europeo, the white man, when the hombre blanco, when the white man reached the American Great Plains in the early 1800s, a principios de los 1800, o sea, del siglo XIX, there were over 50 million buffalo. Buffalo, recuerda sin ese. Había más de 50,000 búfalos o bisontes. Bisonte es la palabra correcta, bison. Bison is the correct word, technically. But people say buffalo, usually, buffalo. When the white man first reached the American Great Plains in the early 1800s, 800, there were over 50 million buffalo. By the end of the century, 90 years later, there were fewer than 500. 500 bisontes nada más. They killed them all. They killed them all. America was moving west. Go west. Bop, 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 bop. Go west. They were moving west. De ahí viene. Del periodista americano en 1865 decía, id al oeste. Go west. And Pet Shop Boys took the expression. It's a very famous expression. Go west, young man. Go west. Lo dice dos veces. Ve al oeste, joven hombre. Ve al oeste. Go west, young man. Go west. And they were going west. But there were 50 million buffalo. And it was a big, big problem. But it was also a big sport. It was a sport. Terrible sport. And it eliminated the buffalo. Now the buffalo are coming back. Very careful work on the part of conservationists. And they're now I don't know what the population is. Maybe 20 million. Oh, no, 20 million. Maybe 50,000. I don't know. How many buffalo are there now in the United States and in Canada? Interesting animal, the buffalo. Okay, let's go on. That's your homework. Find out how many buffalo there are in the United States and Canada today. Page 67, the second one, 592. How did you know I was going to resign? Huh? How did you know? ¿Cómo supiste eso? ¿Cómo lo sabías? How did you know I was going to resign? I didn't tell anyone except my wife and a good friend of mine who works in the foreign ministry. Do you have any friends in the ministry? Okay. How did you know I was going to resign? How did you know? Esta entonación es muy entonación de angloparlante. How did you know? Pero ¿cómo sabías que iba a dimitir? ¿Cómo lo has sabido? How did you know? ¿Cómo supiste en inglés? How did you know I was going to resign? I didn't tell anyone except my wife and a friend of mine, un amigo mío, ¿no? And a friend of mine who works in the foreign ministry, Ministerio de Asuntos Exteriores, in the foreign ministry. Yes. Do you have any friends in the ministry? So I'm asking you, how did you find out? ¿Cómo averiguaste? ¿Cómo supiste? ¿Cómo te enteraste? How did you find out? How did you know I was going to resign? Que iba a dimitir. How did you know I was going to resign? I didn't tell anyone except my wife. Except, fíjate cómo digo, except. Me como la T final, paro en la P. Except my wife. Except my wife. Claro, la M de my wife se hace con el control fonético y la T muere. Except my wife. Si digo excepto ella, la T sí entra. Except her. Menos ella. Excepto ella. Except her. I didn't tell anyone except her. Except her. Entonces la fonética, los enlaces fonéticos dependen de la letra de inicio de la siguiente palabra. I didn't tell anyone except my wife. And a friend of mine who works in the foreign ministry. Do you have any friends in the ministry? Do you have any friends in the ministry? ¿Tienes amigos en el ministerio? Por un casual. Do you have any friends in the ministry? Por un casual, no sé. Por un casual, para decir, no tendrías por casual algún amigo en el ministerio. In English, you wouldn't have by any chance a friend in the ministry, would you? No, would you? You wouldn't by any chance have a friend in the ministry, would you? También otra alternativa. You wouldn't happen to have. No sucedería que tuvieras. You wouldn't happen como pasar, ocurrir. You wouldn't happen to have a friend in the ministry, would you? Or maybe, do you know my wife personally? Did my wife tell you? All right. How did you know I was going to resign? Dimitir is to resign. Es como resignación, es dimisión. Resignation, to resign. Yeah. The great resignation. Okay, how did you know I was going to resign? I didn't tell anyone except my wife and a friend of mine who works in the foreign ministry. Yeah. Do you have any friends in the ministry? Do you have any friends in the ministry? Ministry? Minister? Ministry. El ministro trabaja en el ministerio. The minister works in the ministry. The next one, page 67, the third paragraph. When the family went on trips, this is true, this is my family. When the family went on trips, the little girl always wanted to sit in the front seat with her father. Her little brother sat in the back with his mother, and they played cards together. This is true. This is true. In the United States, people travel a lot by car, more than here. Hacer millas hasta el fin del mundo by car. All right. And so I remember when I was 4 years old, 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, sitting in the back seat with my mother. And my sister was always sitting in the passenger seat. El asiento de la muerte, ¿no? This passenger seat. Because she had a problem getting car sick. If she sat in the back seat, she got car sick. Car sick means mareo, de devolver. And so she sat in the front seat. I think she wanted to sit with her father. She was daddy's little girl. Yeah, la niña de papá. She was daddy's little girl. She was 3 years older than me. So if I was 5 years old, she was 8. If I was 6 years old, she was 9. And she was always sitting in the front seat. I was sitting in the back. I don't care. And my mother, she didn't care. My mother always had a tray, una bandejita aquí. And she played cards. Solitario. She was playing solitaire. In the car. And I was watching. And she taught me how to play solitaire. And my mother taught me a solitaire game that you can play holding the cards in your hand. And you can play it. It's an incredibly good, interesting game. I'm not going to explain it now. But if you go into Google and you put juego de solitario solo con las manos, maybe you can find it. And what's interesting is this solitaire game is very, very difficult to win. I have won, I think, twice in my life. But it's a fun game. And so with my mother, we spent a lot of time together, my mother and I, in the back seat of the car. All right, so when the family went on trips, to go on a trip is ir de viaje. To go on a trip. To take a trip también. Hacer un viaje. Claro, ir de viaje, hacer un viaje. O sea, hacer un viaje is to take a trip. Tomar un viaje. To take a trip. Ir de viaje is to go on a trip. Pero si trip se pluraliza en ir de viajes, to go on trips. When the family went, estoy hablando de hace 50 años, when the family went on trips, the little girl always wanted to sit in the front seat with her father. At that time, the cars had bench seats. Se dice asiento de banco. No, not bucket seats. Se dice asientos de cubo. No, de banco. Bench seats. And that was very good when I was a teenager. Because I could go out with a girl with Patty Palumbo. She could, yeah. Eso aquí no. You can't do it. You can't do it. But riding along in my automobile with the girl next to the wheel. Yes, all right. It's a different culture. Las películas todavía ves eso. You can still see that. I lived through that period. And the drive-in theaters, the cine al aire libre, the drive-in theaters. Okay, when the family went on trips, the little girl always wanted to sit in the front seat with her father. Her little brother sat in the back seat. Se sentaba in the back seat with his mother, and they played cards together. Jugar las cartas o los naipes. Es lo mismo, ¿no? Cartas y naipes. Yeah. But you say un castillo de naipes, no castillo de cartas. Okay, si es castillo, son naipes. All right. It's interesting. Okay. So, we played cards together, my mother and I. All right. The next paragraph, the fourth paragraph on page 67, paragraph 594. What did she say when you told her? What did she say when you told her? What did she say? ¿Qué dijo ella? What did she say? Cuando se lo dijiste tú. What did she say when you told her? What did she say when you told her? Told her. Tengo muchos tolders en mi casa. Un toldo. Told her. What did she say when you told her? What did she say when you told her? Did she show any interest in learning more about the proposal? Did she show any interest? Did she show? Mucho eshe. Eshe. Aquí en español no existe la eshe. La SH. She. She sells seashells by the seashore. She shares shining shoes. Ella comparte zapatos relucientes. She shares shining shoes. She. Os cuesta horrores decir eso. Sin embargo, decís la Junta de Galicia perfectamente. Los sevillanos dicen chiquillo. Yeah. Y los catalanes dicen la caixa. Cuando es una X en estos, caixa, chichón. Yeah. La chichona, Ximena. All right. You say it perfectly. But when I want you to say it like, show me, decís show me. So es cóseme. No enséñame. Cósemelo. Show me it. No, show it to me. Show. The show must go on, the show. All right. She. ¿Dónde estoy? What did she say when you told her? Did she show? Hay una tribu india que los Shoshone. The Shoshone tribe. Creo que está en Wyoming por ahí. Shoshone tribe. Your homework. You have 2 homeworks for tomorrow. The first one I don't remember. But this one is find out if the Shoshone tribe was located in Wyoming. I don't know. But in any case, what did she say when you told her? ¿Qué dijo ella cuando se lo dijiste tú? ¿Qué dijo ella cuando se lo dijiste? What did she say when you told her? Did she show any interest? Did she show any interest in learning more about the proposal? ¿Mostró algún tipo de interés en aprender más sobre la propuesta o saber más sobre la propuesta? The proposal, la propuesta, the proposal. Did she show any interest in learning more about the proposal? What did she say when you told her? Did she show any interest in learning more about the proposal? Did she show any interest? ¿Mostró algún tipo de interés? Did she show any interest in learning more, enterarse más o aprender más about the proposal? I sent her a brief description of the project last week. Center es un centro de ciudad, the center, pero también es la envié. I sent her. I sent her, me como la H de her de nuevo. I sent her the proposal last week. I sent her I sent her una breve descripción del proyecto. Project. I sent her a brief description of the project last week. But I haven't heard from her. I haven't heard from her. No tengo noticias suyas. No he oído de ella, procedente de ella. No he oído nada. I haven't heard from her. Esta expresión es la más importante del párrafo, porque se dice y se oye tantas veces. I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard from them. No tengo noticias suyas de ellos. I haven't heard from them. De él. I haven't heard from him. No tengo noticias suyas. De Pedro? I haven't heard from him in a long time. Finally, I've heard from you. Por fin tengo noticias tuyas. I finally heard from you. My God. No había tenido noticias tuyas desde hace 3 años. I hadn't heard from you. To hear from. Very, very important because it's so common. And it's so different from Spanish. In Spanish is, no tengo noticias suyas, no sé nada de ella. I haven't heard from her. Okay, I haven't heard from her. So one more time, when the family went, what did she say when you told her? Did she show any interest in learning more about the proposal? I sent her a brief description of the project last week, but I haven't heard from her. All right, one more. Do we have time? I hope this is in the middle. 595, page 67. I hope you've learned your lesson, eh? Espero que hayas aprendido la lección. Escarmiento aquí, eh? I hope you've learned your lesson, eh? I hope this is the last time you bring home a pet snake or other animal from the woods behind the school. Eso es típico en Estados Unidos. Why do they let the kids play in the woods? Okay, volveré con esto mañana. The woods. The woods es el bosque. The woods. The forest. Pero forest puede ser hasta selva tropical, the tropical rainforest. Pero el bosque es muchas veces the woods. Es un bosque detrás de tu casa es the woods. Yeah, the woods. Caperucita cruzaba the woods. No era un frondoso, espeso bosque. Era in the woods, entre los árboles a casa de su abuela. To go to her grandmother's house, she's in the woods. Now, here, said, I hope you've learned your lesson. I hope this is the last time you bring home a pet snake. Trajo una culebra a casa. Can you believe it? He brought a pet. Yeah, tengo una mascota. Yeah, but I'll talk more about this tomorrow. Take care.